What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here to go ahead and talk about the Crew 2 Summit. I know I'm a bit late, please don't shout at me, but today I finally get the chance to speak about the Crew 2 Summit mode to you guys. It came out a few days ago, but I wasn't actually even in the country, so I couldn't actually record a video on it, but now I've played it a fair bit, to be fair, at least the events that I enjoy, and I'm going to just talk about what I think about it, my opinions, what I think they could do better, what it means for the game, because I do think overall this is kind of the missing piece to what the Crew kind of needed. So we're going to go ahead and talk about all that in today's video. So first off, let's go ahead and actually talk about all the good points. Let's get all the good points out of the way, then we can talk about the bad points, then we can talk about my overall opinion. So the good points. This actually adds long-term endgame to the game. The Crew has been lacking any sort of, you know, just anything to worthwhile doing in this game at all for the past, like, year it's been out, pretty much. I think it's safe to say there's just not really been much to do in the game. The PvP update wasn't really what we wanted. The Summit, honestly, for me, I think is the one thing which will keep me coming back to the game. Now, it's really hard for me, like, to kind of say any of this because I actually don't have a lot of the cars at 280 gold parts. A lot of them are a little bit under, like, for example, my F1 car. I'm pretty sure that's like 40 under the maximum rating, as well as, you know, all the boats and stuff. I haven't really maxed any of those out. So it's going to take a while for me to get to the kind of the best place I can be in the Summit. I'm not a big fan of the boat racing. I'm not really a big fan of the aeroplane racing. I kind of just do them because they're there and I have to do them. I'm more a fan of the rallycross, the touring car racing, the F1 racing, the street racing, the drift racing, that kind of stuff. Even the bikes, I'm a big fan of the bikes, but those kind of come under the street racing categories. I've found that I'm kind of doing the street racing, the drift racing, and the F1 racing, and I'm not really touching the other sections, which isn't actually a problem. I'm currently gold in the ranking system. Obviously, that's kind of due to change. I don't think I'm going to get platinum just because my cars aren't fully upgraded enough to go ahead and get those spots, and I'm not really interested in doing the boat stuff and the plane stuff, really. But I do think that if I had an upgraded car, you know, for the F1 stuff and for the drift stuff and the street racing stuff, I do think it would be possible to do platinum by grinding those events and doing the other ones once. I do think that's possible. Another thing which I'm really happy about is the rewards. I think this Summit, which is going on currently, it's the Evo that you get. Again, I'm not really particularly interested, but it would be really nice to get it just because it's a Season 1 reward and not many people are going to have that, you know, late in this game's life cycle. And overall, I do think this has brought me back to the Crew 2. For how long for, I don't really know. I was a bit disappointed that there's no PvP in this Summit. I was kind of hoping that the same system from the last game was going to come and transfer over. It does seem like the Summit mode is pretty much everything that was in the Crew 1 minus the PvP part, which is a little bit disappointing because when you look at it in that perspective, it's just kind of less content. But also, with that being said, I can kind of understand why, but I would have liked it if that was a feature in the game, just because I'm a big PvP player. That's a lot of what I do in racing games generally. Forza, that's the one thing that kept me coming back for ages, same with Need for Speed 2015. So, you know, in the Crew, it's not really any different. I would have loved one-make races in PvP because that would have kept me coming back, especially because it would have been on an even playing ground. And for those people that haven't, you know, got a lot of the boats and bikes and planes and stuff, it would have been a nice mode to go into and have it all even if everyone's got an even car. If everyone was driving like a, I don't know, F12 and it was all maxed out and everyone was on a level playing field, that would have been a really interesting mode to see. But nevertheless, that's not in there. That's something that I would like to see in future summits if it was possible, but, you know, it's not in there for now. There is bits and bobs I think they need to kind of sort out. I'm a bit worried for when the game has like car-only summits or bike-only summits or you know, plane-only summits, because if it's a plane-only summit, I'm not playing it. And then that only leaves the PvP and we're kind of back to square one. But for everything that I've seen so far, I'm really, really, really enjoying it. And I just hope it's enough to tide us over to whatever the first expansion they have is coming, because I don't know if I'm going to be playing it a lot. I don't know if I'm going to be playing it too much. It's one of those things that I can't really tell you how long it's going to last until I've stopped playing it. For now, though, I'm really enjoying it. And for the first time in months, I can say this for the first time in months, off camera, I've been playing this more than Forza, which is what I would have thought I would have told you before launch, like constantly. But for the first time since Forza's launched, I've been playing more The Crew 2 than Forza. So if you are looking in Ivory Tower's eyes, that's a success to me. I really do like how the cars are based on your own levels, and they're based on your own skill parts as well. If it was one of those things where everything was on an even playing field, I don't think it would be fair, because you got to reward the people that do grind, and this is the only way I see that would make any sense. And I'm honestly really enjoying the fact that now when I upgrade my cars, it actually means something. It's not a pointless grind anymore. You're now grinding to go ahead and make sure you can have the best car to compete in the weekly summit. So therefore there is now a point to grinding. So now when I go into PvP and I'm earning money and I'm earning parts, it doesn't feel like I'm just earning parts for no reason. There's actually a motive behind it. And even in the summit, you can say it's also the same thing. So I'm definitely enjoying a lot of what this first summit has to offer. Whether it's going to last or not is something we're gonna have to tell in the long term. But overall, right now, really enjoying it. And you know what? I can quite gladly say right now, it's brought me back to The Crew 2. I hope this isn't just a honeymoon period. I hope there's more to this, and that it's going to get better and better and better. I know I said earlier I'm a bit worried for when there's car-only summits and bike-only summits and plane-only summits, and that's only because I like cars only. If there's one that is plane-only, I'm probably not going to do it, but I'd always be open to like a car-only summit, which is something I could look forward to. But then it's just going to, like, those people that don't like the car stuff in the game, they're going to kind of be put to the side, which I don't really want anyone to be excluded. I kind of want everyone to be involved. But, you know, that's just something I wanted to mention because it's something which might happen. One thing I'm looking really forward to, though, is when touring cars get, like, the kind of mix mash mode. So obviously, at the moment, it's the Alpha GPs that are on the street racing tracks. When the touring cars get on the street racing tracks, that's going to be a really interesting time, because I've wanted races like that for a very long time. Or even when street racing cars go on the touring car tracks. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been mixed and matched yet. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to come into the summit which we haven't seen yet. So I'm very excited to see what Ivory Tower have in store. Ivory Tower, you now have me back as a player in The Crew 2. Now it's all down to Forza, really. When are they going to release this expansion? Because yeah, I'm kind of a little bit bored of Forza. I've kind of moved over back to The Crew now. So hopefully there's more to this. Hopefully there's a bit more to this, and it's not just everything that we've seen in this first summit. I hope there's more to show. But I'm pretty cautiously optimistic with the direction The Crew 2 is going. I just hope that it carries on going this way, and that it just doesn't come to a sudden stop like it did before. Because let's be honest, no one wants that. That's not a good time. We want to carry on playing the game. We want to enjoy these racing games, because there's not many racing games to play like there was, you know, 5 or 6 years ago. The Crew 2 and Forza are pretty much the two only arcade races, you know, out right now. And it's nice to see The Crew 2 doing well again, because like I said, why would anyone not want to see this game do well? I kind of feel like this is how the game should have launched a year ago. This current state of how the game is now is how it should have launched a year ago. Now, whether they rush the game out, which I've said in previous videos, it does feel like a game that needed a bit more development time. But this is the state that the game should have launched a year ago. It's now a game that I can enjoy. It's a game that has replayability. It's a game that has a decent car list with decent customization. It's a game with plenty of content and meaningful content now as well. This is the state the game should have released a year ago. Nevertheless, I'm happy it's finally here, because obviously at one point in time, you know, we would have thought that this would have taken much longer to get to, but I'm happy that the game has finally got into this state, because, you know, as a player, this is where I want to see The Crew 2, and it's actually a game which is playable now. It's a bit disappointing it took so long, but I'm not gonna, you know, dwell on that, because the game is finally in a place where we can all enjoy it, and we can all, you know, actually play it and actually feel like we're working towards something. I now feel like I'm working towards this Evo. Whether I'm going to get it or not is a different thing, but it's been so long since I can say things like this about The Crew 2, and I really want to, because I really do like Ivory. I like how the cars handle. I like the theme they're going for. I'm a big fan of this festival theme, which racing games seem to be going for. That doesn't mean I don't like illegal street racing and I don't like Sims, because I do. But like this whole festival theme, I feel like The Crew 2 really nailed, and now it has the gameplay to back it, which is really, really nice. And I can see myself grinding for gold parts now, which I couldn't have said before. It took me a while to come around and actually try the summit thing, but now I'm happy it came. It took a month after the unveiling, which was a bit weird, but it's finally here, and I'm playing it, and I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait to see what comes in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the Crew 2 Summit Mode down in the comment section down below. But that's going to be for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe, and peace.